Welcome back to How to Sell in Any Economy. This is episode 13 of our web series based on the principles of our best-selling book by the same name. With me, as always, are my amazing rock star co-authors, Lee Cassels and Catherine Brownlee. And today, for episode 13, we're going to dive into one of Catherine's talks that we call Networking is the New Black. And because of the current situation we find ourselves in, where most people are isolated and need to be, then we're really going to go into how do we do networking online. So, Catherine, we'll start with you. When it comes to navigating the new normal, and how do people reach out, grow their networks, and potentially even grow their sales when all the networking we have to do is mostly online?
Such a good topic, especially right now. And of course, we all loved it because this is the way we're programmed, but it's not innate for everyone. So I'll just go through some simple steps and quite frankly, it's a lot of the same advice that we would give if we were networking in person. We're just going to change our mindset a little bit and make it all about being online and staying at home. So exciting. Anyway, so my most effective way of networking online is to ensure, again, just as though you were in public and in an actual event, you're always prepared, meaning your LinkedIn is completely full and at what they call the all-star status, which is ensuring that everything is filled in appropriately. You've got your skills and endorsement, skills and what is it? Skills and what's the other one at the bottom? Skills, recommendations.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Recommendation is endorsements. Yeah.
yeah. So skills are certainly you're endorsed by your friends and colleagues. You have enough endorsements that you look like you're very good at your job. You've asked for recommendations, or hopefully you've received some recommendations from colleagues, clients, previous, even friends. But fill that up. Ensure that the public knows that you are who you say you are, that you've got the integrity that you need to get the job done, and that you'll fulfill whatever it is that you're being hired for, whether it's to be an employee for a firm in the future or they're looking at you from a service perspective. So ensure that that's all-star status. And then also ensure that your Facebook, if in fact you are on Facebook, is positive. And in fact, all your social media communications should be on the positive, unless you're not afraid of being prejudged by someone who you've not even met before. And they're looking at your Facebook, they're looking at your Twitter, your Instagram, maybe even LinkedIn, and they think that you're too negative, maybe you're too politically charged, and they're not even going to give you a chance. So perhaps they're not even going to reach back because you've sent a resume in. Perhaps they're not going to reach back because you sent an email to discuss business opportunities. If in fact you have turned a person or organization off because of your previous communication style, then perhaps that's your choice. But that's certainly not where I like to play, or I know the three of us don't. We like to stay positive, don't we, gentlemen?
Yes. You got it.
Yeah. So that is our MO, staying positive at all times in all communications, and not just what you can see visibly online. No matter what we are, even if we're stuck at home and we're having to go through this all together we're better, right? So even if we can start with that platform of staying positive there, and then have two people that you vent and flare to. Again, staying at home, maybe it's not your partner, maybe it's somebody like Stan or Lee that are super awesome at listening to my 2 minutes of, I can't handle this. And they help me jump off the ledge and get all sane again. And they're expert at that. So there's your two right there. Stan and Lee are your two that you vent and flare to. To everybody else, you stay positive. Because even if we're only online, we can still feel it. I was on a Zoom recording call last week with a pretty high-end individual, and I stopped him right in his tracks. I stopped recording, and I said, "You're not ready for this." I said, "Are you going to be okay?" And he took it offline and said, "Actually, I'm not okay." Well, we could feel that, especially intuitives that are designed the way we are, the three of us, where we can actually feel what's going on with that person, Even if it's through a Zoom call, we can feel it. And guess what? We can feel it through your online communication on your social media too. So again, I know I'm preaching, but it's so, so important to stay as positive as possible. Have your bad days, but find two people that you can vent and flare to and get around it and find the positive in what's happening to us, because it's not to us, it's for us. I'm also now going to go into my LinkedIn right now. I'm going to share my screen. I'll show you the different aspects of LinkedIn. Of course, many of you will already know this, but some will not. So as long as I've been doing this, it's not always been I don't think there's been real easy high level views of LinkedIn and how to use it effectively. So I'm just going to do that for us now. And I hope that it is of value. So let me just get there. Excellent. Is this all right, gentlemen? How's that looking?
Good to see you.
Awesome. So this is my homepage. You will see that absolutely everything is filled in. My about is filled in. You can see how many people have viewed me recently. You can see that I've got lots of activity right in here. And if I want to show you all of my activity, you can see I've made some comments, I've done some shares, some things that are important to me. I'm just going to go back to the home again. So that's watching for activity. You can see what I'm interested in or what I'm trying to promote. You'll see all my professional history. You'll see all the education I've had, volunteer experience, ensure that that's filled in. Again, some more volunteer. And then this is where you'll see the skills and endorsements area. You can see that in all of the categories, I have in most categories, I have over 99 endorsements, or quite a few endorsements in all of those, and 105 received recommendations, and I've given 121. This is the area where you ask for a recommendation. You pull it up easy right here. And who do you ask? And I'm going to put Stan Peak. I hit Stan. And what's our relationship? Stan is always managing me, right, Stan? And this is my title. And then I hit next. See how easy this is? And you can put a nice personal recommendation. It's a nice note in here. Hi, Stan. You have managed me since we met. How about putting it here? Okay.
There we go.
So something fun, right? I mean, let's make it fun. So I'm not going to send that because Stan's actually already recommended me. So thank you, Stan. And I think Lee has too. So nice. And then in here is where you put your accomplishments, your publications for all the smarty pants in the room. You guys have lots of, you can do a little plus sign. Here's your publications, your patents, courses, projects, honors, awards, test score, languages, organizations. And then these are all the things that you're interested in down here. You can see I've got many interests. I'm a little ADD, so you can see all the different people that I follow. And there's many more. So that is the home page. That's when you get to all-star status, which is great. It's always fun to have little titles in here too. If you've ever had clients call you something like I have, you can put them in there for fun. In the My Network area, you've got different, this is where people are inviting you to connect. I always say yes to anyone who is an actual person where there's logos attached to their name, etc. And I delete the rest. This is for the job seekers out there. If I was looking for a job, I would have put in some keywords here, and there'd be some jobs coming up that I would have been identified for. In the case, I'm feeling fortunate not to have to do that right now. This is where all the messages come in. And these are the notifications of all the people that you are following. So in our case, we follow quite a few. So I don't actually get on here, but oh, look at this. Who's this? Oh, wow, that's us. Awesome. Very good. So that's basically it on LinkedIn. Now, if I wanted to, let's look up our dear friend Lee. Lee is awesome. He has over 500 connections, you can see. And we're going to see, where do we have our shared connections, gentlemen? Is it here?
100, no, you just put 109 mutual connections.
Oh, thank you very much. I've
Just a
missed
little
it.
lower right there under highlights.
Under highlights. Here?
Go back up. Directly under highlights, it says
Oh, here we
109
go.
mutual connections.
Yes, thank you. I don't know why I'm looking too close to my screen. So these are the 109 connections that we have in common. Let's say there was somebody here in all of these connections that I'm interested in getting to know. And I've got a pretty good relationship with Lee. So I send a note to Lee and say, hey, Lee, I see that you know John Smith. Would you mind making an introduction to me? These are the reasons why, or this is the reason why I'm interested in connecting with John. And Lee says, well, for sure. Of course, I'd like to introduce you. Another way of doing that is I'll show you. Now, let's say I didn't know Lee, and I can go down to Lee here. And maybe this is well in advance to me starting to reach out. Let's say I hadn't already endorsed him. I start endorsing him or even commenting on his activity. So let's go into Lee's activity. And I know I haven't been in here lately, so this will be some good fun. Here's some of Lee's activity. I want to show my love for Lee. This is a pretty cool one. In charge of life. I like that. Okay, I'm going to put a heart there. Maybe I might put a comment here. And of course, it's, wherever I'm most aligned. I'm not going to do something that I'm not aligned with. All I want to do is show him that I'm supportive of what it is that he's promoting. And again, maybe he doesn't know me yet. This is a comment where I'm going to put, these guys are awesome. You should sign up. That's these guys. So you can do this in advance. What I do when I'm trying to reach out to leaders on LinkedIn that I'm not connected to is 1 week prior to my initial reach out, I will start liking, commenting, and I'll do that wherever it is that's most applicable, wherever it is that I'm feeling aligned with their values or what they're posting. And then I'll go to Lee and say, hey, Lee, I've been liking some of John's stuff on LinkedIn. I'm really interested in connecting. These are the reasons why. This is some of the activity I've been following, and my agenda is this. And he either says yes or no. Usually, of course, Lee will say yes to all introductions, right, Lee?
Yes.
Yeah. See? Just ask Lee. So that's basically the strategy on how you can start building relationships in advance to an opportunity where we can actually be in person again. It's an online strategy that works really well. If you don't get to the person right away, you will. Trust yourself. Find another connection that also knows them. When there's enough introductions with your pure intention of staying positive and the reason and stating the reason why you want to connect with someone, there isn't anybody that doesn't want to help, especially when all you're trying to do is do your best to make this world a better place and put your best foot forward. Your friend will want to help you. And when you're connecting and building relationships online in advance, it helps a lot. Did I miss anything, gentlemen?
That's brilliant. Lee, we'll go to you with anything you'd like to
add. Yeah, I think that was amazing. Like, it's very, very good overview. I think the big one for me in terms of online kind of networking is pick your lane. Like Catherine mentioned, like pick the lane that you want to be in. So if it's business to business or more professional, then obviously you're on the LinkedIn side. If it's more casual and that's more your demographic and it's in Facebook side, then be in Facebook. Or if it's more visual, then be in Instagram. Or if it's more verbal or written, then it'd be Twitter. Like, be an expert in your lane. I see so many times that people try and over network on all of them and then wonder why none of them work. Like, I'm not saying don't be in all of them. I'm just saying pick your lane. Like, where's 90% of your customer base, or where's 90% of the people that you're trying to connect, and speak their language on the platform that they're already on. Don't try and pull somebody from a LinkedIn account over to Facebook because that's all you want to talk on. I'm not coming over to Facebook if you want to talk to me. If you want to talk to me on LinkedIn because I'm there 90% of the time. So it's easier to get hold of me on that side. And as Catherine mentioned, like just consider that you're talking to a lot of people, so you might be doing a lot of cold calling, so to speak. Some will talk to you straight off the bat. Some won't, regardless what you do online. But someone's always waiting. Like, always just remember those 3 steps. Like, some will, some won't, someone's waiting. Like, always go after that someone's waiting. There's someone there that's looking for your product or service, that's looking for you to solve their problem, that's looking for you to give them advice. You just got to keep knocking on doors, and then one of those doors will open. You're like, wow, like, I didn't know you'd talk to me. Of course I would. I was sitting here waiting for you. You just hadn't knocked my door yet. So I think that's my big 2 points in terms of the online market.
Beautiful. Yeah, I definitely echo all of those comments on behalf of both of you. A couple things I would add is always lead with how you can add value. Look for online networking events. They're springing up now. It could be everything from meetupgroup.com. There's other places where a typical in-person business forum or networking group is now at a pivot online. So join those things. You can find those on LinkedIn or other networks. You can join groups on LinkedIn based on people that have similar interests. Obviously, I'm in a lot of entrepreneurial or business development or coaching groups. And you know, Catherine might be in some of those recruitment or business development or headhunting, and Lee, you know, sales or fitness. So you can find your interests in groups, and the advantages when you can find a group based on common interests where you don't have a lot of people you're connected with, because now that's an opportunity to connect with a lot more, obviously. Definitely lead with what you can do for others. Catherine, it's so great to meet you. I'd love to learn more about your business. Catherine's taken that meeting. And that's when you want to lead, and then let someone go first. Dale Carnegie, you know, figured this out in his book from the 1930s, How to Win Friends and Influence People. When we can add other people value and let them talk about themselves first, they're going to really tell that we are inherently interested in them. So we won't add too much because we've covered a whole bunch of content today, but you definitely want to be intentional. And to your point, Lee, you got to be where your audience would naturally be. If you have a highly demonstrable business because you're manufacturing products like clothing, then you probably want to be on Instagram and Pinterest, but you can still pull a lot of Catherine's LinkedIn comments on there by liking and sharing other people's stuff, because that's going to draw people to your profile. So regardless, even when the world has taken a crazy dovetail into uncertain times, we can still be very intentional. We can still grow our business. We can still grow our networks. This has been How to Sell in Any Economy, episode 13. Networking is the New Black, based on Catherine's book, Suh. By the way, I noticed you have one publication on your LinkedIn, so someone has some updating to do. 2 more books, including a bestseller with us. But thanks for joining us. As always, join us next time for episode 14 of How to Sell in Any Economy. And thanks, as always, to the 2 brilliant ones here, Lee Cassels and Catherine Brownlee. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.